So last week I did a video on the best high interest savings account, but I realized that that video is only applicable to employees. So this week I do want to explore what is the best high interest savings accounts for self-employed and retirees, because the thing about this group of people is that they do not have a monthly salary credit. And you see, the main problem is the salary credit, right? Because these people, they do not work for a company, they do not have a monthly payroll, and hence without that salary credit, all of those high interest savings accounts are probably not applicable to them. I mean, for the higher tiered interest rates. So for self-employed people, we are looking at people who are mainly freelancers, but I also need to cater to another group of people, and these are your retirees, and more specifically those who are financial independents, retire early, those people who have already amassed a huge amount of capital living off their investments, or even those seniors who are above 60, then they decided not to work anymore, but they have a high amount of cash savings. Where are they going to put all this money to get this high monthly interest? So for assumptions wise, I'm going to use the 75,000 of cash savings because that's the SDIC insured amount at the maximum. And of course, there is no salary credit criteria for this self-employed and retirees people, and I'm going to assume that they can at least spend $500 a month on credit card. So let's start with your first bank account first, which is your DBS Multiplier. You realize that DBS Multiplier has been like laying low, right? They haven't come out with their new promotion as of the recording date. So if you look at DBS Multiplier, the way their interest works is really quite complicated, because apart from having a salary, you can also do like the SGFindex or dividends. So that's suitable for those people who do not have salary credit. But you see, the other thing is that aside from the criteria itself, there is a minimum amount that you need to hit in order to get that high interest. So the minimum amount is at least $2,000 per month. Of course, you can easily fulfill the credit card criteria because $500, I mean, you can go and sign up for a DBS U card, and as a new sign up to DBS customer, you do get $250 of cash. That is only for new DBS card holders. So if you do not have a DBS card, go and sign up for a U card right now just for the rewards. But the thing is that you see, the base category, which is salary, dividends, and SGFindex, is only the base category. You need to fulfill one more category, which is your credit card. So even if you hit these two categories, you realize that your monthly eligible transaction is less than $200 because your credit card spend is only $500, right? So the minimum of $2,000 don't apply here. And why most people can hit their DBS multiplier itself is because they had salary credit of at least $2,000. That's why they could meet that, right? So as a self-employed or retiree, you are not able to hit the minimum $2,000 transaction. So in the end, you only get that base interest of 0.05%, which is pathetic for DBS multiplier for self-employed and retirees. Let's skip to the next one, which is OCBC 360 account. So OCBC 360 account, they also do not require you to have salary credit. It's just that salary credit play a higher percentage in that high interest. So if you're looking at OCBC 360, you're only fulfilling the credit card spend category, which requires you to spend at least $500 on the list of the following credit cards like NXT, 365, 90N, and the Titanium Rewards. But that is just 0.6% for credit card spend, right? How about the other one, the save criteria? Let's assume that you also hit, because you need to hit a monthly incremental savings of $500, which I think is reasonable. But you see, your 1.2% from save plus 0.6% from spend, your net interest, effective interest, is only 1.8%, which is rather pathetic. It's less than 2% per annum. So I think it's also quite sad. For this kind of requirement, you only get 1.8%. I rather you don't waste time. So far, it looks quite disappointing, right? But never mind. After the sponsor, I will show you who are the real bosses. Happy New Year and 恭喜恭喜发大财 as we welcome to the January of 2023. This month, the brand new Weibo reward system will be slightly different because firstly, you will get $50 of trading voucher if you buy at least $100 of US stock or ETF, and on top of that, you have to buy a mutual fund. So to buy a mutual fund, you can go to your Weibo app, look for wealth at the bottom, and then search for mutual funds center. Then select your favorite type of mutual fund from equity, fixed income, or multi-assets depending on your preference. You can get an additional $100 if you buy an options contract. So what I would do is to buy a 1 cent call or put option contract expiring at the nearest date, so the cash outlay is only $1. Do note that this promotion will end by the 1st of February, so do use my referral link down below or scan the QR code right here to get your Weibo account today. Next account is UOB1 account, and I talk about UOB1 account being the best high interest savings account for employees. How about for self-employed then? Then you'll be delighted because there is another criteria whereby there isn't any salary credit needed. In fact, you only need to make the credit card spend of $500 as well as make 3 gyro payment transactions. So these 3 gyro payments can be like to your telcos, to your credit card companies, to your insurance, to your IRS income tax, all these that requires monthly gyro transaction and deduction. As long as you have made 3 transactions, you will be eligible. So what is the effective interest rate of this UOB1 account then? You will need to take 30,000 times 2.5 plus 30,000 times 3 plus 15,000 times 4 and divide by the total of 75k, and that will be an effective interest of 3% per annum. So you see 3% is quite a far cry from the usual 5% that I advertise it, right? I suggested at 5% for employees, but 3% for self-employed, not bad already lah. 卖香北派, right? At least you get 3% rather than the pathetic DBS and OCBC. So let's do the calculation now. If we take the 3% interest rate multiplied by $75,000, you get a yearly interest of $2,250. And if we want to calculate the monthly interest rate, that will be $2,250 divided by 12, and that will give you an effective monthly interest of $188 IPM. So not bad, right? $188 for self-employed. But I haven't even go into my last one, which is from Trust Bank. Now you see, the thing about Trust Bank is that the requirements are really easy whether you are a member or non-member, because you only need to make 5 qualifying transactions. Any transactions, you just make 5 transactions with your Trust card and you will be eligible for the higher interest rate, because for a non-NTUC member it's 1.5% plus 0.5%, and that will be 2% effective interest. And for NTUC member, which I strongly encourage you to sign up, because the additional 0.5% will outweigh the cost of that membership. I mean, the NTUC membership is only $117 per year. So if you're using the Trust Bank high interest savings account, it's recommended for you to get the NTUC member, because you get 2.5% per annum on your first 75k. So if we were to do the calculations, 2.5% multiplied by 75,000, you will get an annual interest of $1,875. And if we take this number divided by 12, you will get a monthly interest of $156 IPM, which is fairly good as well, right? So let's just assume that you are a self-employed person or retiree. You have a total of $150,000. You see, now you can split between UOB1 and Trust Bank, even without the salary credit, and you can get that maximum effective interest up to your first 150,000, because you split 75 each, right? 75 to UOB1, 75 to Trust Bank, and their conditions are fairly simple. So I know this assumption is really quite wide and may not be applicable to your own personal scenario. So if you have a personal situation or scenario, then you can come to my Telegram group and ask, because I do have a panel of experts very willing to help you understand your situation and give you the best suggestions. So do join my Telegram group at HoneyMoneySG. So the verdict is out. I think it's quite simple to compare, right? DBS Multiplier is definitely out because it has the most complicated requirements and yet pays only the base interest. OCBC wise, despite it being fairly simple requirements, it pays a really low interest rate of 1.8%. UOB1 is the best one because it gives you an effective interest of 3% per annum with just gyro transactions and 500 credit card spend. Trust Bank is the easiest of them all because you only need to be an NTUC member, spend 5 purchases, and then you can bump it up to 2.5% per annum on your first 75k. So I can definitely hear some comments already. How about you just put the entire money into SSB or T-bills? Of course, you can definitely do that because I believe SSB is quite liquid as well. You will get your cash as fast as 30 days. But for T-bills, it's definitely not that liquid because once you put in for that 4% and above you need to wait for 6 months, or there may be a more compelling product during this 6 months. And that is the reason why I don't buy T-bills, and I'll go through them in detail right here in this video.